Thank you for coming today. I'm attorney Gloria Allred, and with me is Paxton Smith. I'll be reading a statement, and then Paxton will also be speaking, and then we're both happy to take any questions. Today, I am thrilled to announce and have here next to me the person whom I have never previously met, but wanted to be with me to celebrate my 80th birthday. And that person is 18-year-old Paxton Smith. Paxton recently received national television coverage because she was the valedictorian at her high school graduation in Texas. And she surprised everyone there by tearing up the speech that school authorities thought that she would give, and instead giving a passionate speech in support of the right to choose abortion and against Texas laws, which were recently passed, severely restricting a woman's right to choose legal abortion. From afar, I admired Paxton's courage and commitment to the pro-choice movement. Paxton was and is a brilliant rebel with a cause. At the time of her speech, I thought of contacting Paxton to indicate my support for her. I thought, however, that she was probably deluged with emails and tweets, and that was not the time to reach out to her. Fortuitously, however, I recently received an email from Sequoia Schmidt. Sequoia told me that she had asked Paxton if she would be interested in participating in a book with personal stories about the right to choose abortion. Sequoia asked me if I would be willing to do a chapter in the book. I agreed and also told Sequoia that I admired Paxton for her courage and would be thrilled if I could meet her and also have her come to Los Angeles to celebrate my birthday with her. Sequoia invited Paxton, and Paxton immediately agreed. I have been committed to supporting a woman's right to choose legal, safe, affordable, and available abortion for decades. And that is because I had an abortion that was illegal prior to Roe v. Wade. It was not illegal for me to have it, but it was illegal for a doctor to provide it. For that reason, I had to find and hire a stranger who was not a licensed healthcare provider. I almost died from what he did to me. Hemorrhaging and with 106-degree fever, I had to be taken to the hospital and packed in ice. The nurse told me, quote, "I hope this teaches you a lesson," end quote. Having become pregnant because of a rape, the lesson it taught me is that no woman should be forced to have a back alley abortion and risk her life, as many women did prior to the 1973 United States Supreme Court decision of Roe v. Wade. I refuse to go back to those times when many women died or were permanently damaged because of the illegal abortions they had. Today, many politicians are waging a war against women and girls because they are supporting laws which severely restrict a woman's right to choose abortion. They are doing so for base political reasons and because they want to challenge Roe v. Wade and overturn it. We need the support of everyone to fight back against their efforts because they are harming the most vulnerable among us, including poor women, young women, rural women, and many women of color. I am thrilled not only to have Paxton Smith by my side today, but in addition, because we plan to work together in the future on the important pro-choice battle to preserve women's lives and their reproductive health. As an 80-year-old, as of tomorrow, I know the importance of working with the 18-year-olds who are the next generation of women activists. Paxton is a leader and an inspiration. Thank you very much, Paxton, for honoring me, and I look forward to celebrating my birthday with you tomorrow. And now I am honored to present Paxton Smith.
I'm honored to be here this weekend to celebrate Gloria's 80th birthday. I look up to Gloria as a role model for her pioneering in feminism and the fight for women's rights. It's difficult to challenge the rules, or more so the roles put in place by society for people to follow, but the world is changing and growing. Gloria has been a leader in that growth. I first heard about Gloria when researching potential collaborators for a book that I will be working on. I'm now very excited to say that Gloria, myself, and several other amazing women will be working on that book together, A War on My Body, A War on My Rights. The book will come out on January 22nd, 2022, on the 49th anniversary of the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court ruling. All of the proceeds will go to the afar Center. The book will share the stories of so many women who haven't been able to speak out or who feel like their voices haven't been heard. We hope that it will be able to provide perspective on just how deeply affected the people of this nation will be by lack of access to their reproductive rights. Currently, women's health care is under threat across the nation. I used my valedictorian address to confront one of the most recent and most restrictive abortion bans in the country. This ban, also known as the heartbeat bill in Texas, bans abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Most women don't realize they're pregnant by 6 weeks, and so before a woman has the chance to decide if she is willing or capable of having a child, the decision is made for her by a politician. The decision to carry out a full-term pregnancy will affect the rest of that pregnant person's life, and like any other life-changing decision, the only person who should have the final say is the person who it affects. It is incredibly dehumanizing that the government is working to take that choice away from the millions of women in this nation. What we choose to do with our bodies, and furthermore, what we choose to do with our lives, should be solely up to us. My heart breaks that Texas and other state governments have decided to ignore the 60% majority support of abortion in America and actively attempt to restrict or ban access to the procedure. I could not in good conscience give up my platform as valedictorian to address anything other than that, and I will continue to speak out until abortion is not only legal, but is accessible to everyone, regardless of that person's skin color or income bracket. I hope to continue to speak across the nation, testify in front of legislatures, and bring this topic to the forefront of public opinion. I am a human being, and I deserve human rights.
Thank you, Paxton. And before we answer any questions, Paxton and I would like to hold this up to the side. Thank you. Before you sit down, well, I have a little surprise for you. Okay. This is a little gift from me that I hope you'll enjoy wearing. I'll show it to you first, then I'll show it to those who are here with cameras.
Oh, wow.
Okay, thank you. So, this is a little gift for Paxton. It's a photo of me with now deceased and always our shero, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And at the bottom it says, "Keep up the battle for equal rights in the spirit of RBG." Keep up the battle for equal rights in the spirit of RBG. Gloria Allred. Thank you,
Thank you.
Paxton.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Not sure if there are any questions, but if there are, feel free. One of the questions that often people ask is, what can I do if I am against these restrictive state laws? Thank God we don't have that in California, but there are more than 20 states that are posing restrictive laws. And I would say everyone can do something. Everyone can speak out on the internet against those restrictive laws. Everyone can contact legislators, elected officials who are supporting restrictive laws, which are going to harm women. Everyone can contribute to pro-choice organizations. Everyone can march and demonstrate and protest legally outside of those legislators' offices. Do what the famous organizer, Mother Jones, said, which is don't agonize, organize. So, you know, your vote is very important. Vote against those who are against the right to choose abortion. And in this women's movement, we welcome the 18-year-olds and women of all ages. So, you know, we have an expression in the women's movement that the women's movement is the only movement in which the participants become more radical as they get older. And older women know what I'm talking about because they have the life experience of being discriminated against, often sexually harassed, sexually abused, sexually assaulted, raped, victims of child sexual abuse, victims of discrimination in employment because of they are receiving less pay than men, not the title, not the position, and just were discriminated against because of their race, their sexual orientation, their condition of disability, their age, or other reasons. So I hope that everyone listening to me will consider running for office and also supporting those who are pro-choice for office. So those are some of my thoughts.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Question is, given the current political climate nationally and the balance in the Supreme Court now of the 3-6 balance, do you think Roe versus Wade is in dire straits? Are we risking losing?
Do I think Roe v. Wade
Is in danger of being overturned?
is in danger of being overturned by the United States Supreme Court, given the present composition of the United States Supreme Court and the strong influence of conservatives? Some would say some are extremists, but I'll call them conservatives, who have been appointed to the United States Supreme Court. Yes, absolutely. I do believe that Roe v. Wade is at risk, is at danger of either being overturned or severe, narrowly interpreted, so that states might have the right to restrict abortion. And I do believe that. And also there is a case that will be heard or that has been accepted by the US Supreme Court involving a Mississippi state law, which will challenge Roe v. Wade. And so Paxton and I are going to be on the lookout for that US Supreme Court, which will be briefed and I believe argued next year and decided next year. And so, yes, we are at a very dangerous time. Women are in danger. This is not an academic issue for our daughters, our granddaughters, our sisters, our mothers, our aunts. It is a real life crisis that we are facing. Can't wait until decisions are made for us by strangers that will affect the rest of our lives. The time to act is now. Would you like to add anything to that?
I think you summed it up well.
Oh, thank you so much. Any other questions?
Another question for you, Paxton.
You speak up a little bit, it's hard to hear you.
Given your peers, because you're the 18-year-old in that, what are your peers saying? I mean, pro and con when it comes to abortion and abortion rights. What are you hearing from?
So the question is, what do your peers say, those of your own age, say about your support of abortion rights?
The majority of them have been very supportive of what I've had to say. They agree that women should have access to their reproductive health care. Of course, like the rest of the population, there are some people who don't agree with that. However, the few people who don't agree that women should have those reproductive rights should not be able to make the decision for everyone.
So Paxton's faced a lot of pushback in general about this issue, and given your long STEM career in fighting for incredible rights, you've also faced a lot of pushback. Do you have any recommendations for her or any words of support for those people who may oppose her views?
So the question is, Paxton has received a lot of pushback from opponents of the right of a woman to choose abortion or not to choose abortion, because that's what pro-choice is. Do I have any advice for Paxton on how to deal with those who push back against her, call her names, and basically do not want to support a woman's right to choose, either because they have religious reasons or because they have political reasons or some other reason. And so my suggestion to Paxton is, first of all, if people are calling you names, you've won. Because when people call names or use obscene language, it's a sign that they don't have a good argument against what you're advocating for. And so that is sad. And I would say not to be upset by these people because they've lost the argument, because they don't have one. Just be kind to them. Thank you. And thank all of people who express their opinions in the court of public opinion or on the internet. Thank them for sharing their opinion. And there's no need to get into an argument with them or be upset by them. Just be respectful, because we all have the right to choose. And this is a controversial issue, no doubt, because many people want to have the last say about what women and girls can do with their own bodies, but we don't agree with them. So just be strong, be courageous. It's a tough battle, and you will get pushback. And that's one of the reasons I thank her for her courage, because she understands that and she's willing to persist and to persevere nonetheless. Do you have any thoughts about what you will do if people push back against you? And will that be hurtful to you? Will you continue?
I absolutely will continue. I think no matter what it is that you do on any side that you take, there's always going to be some kind of pushback. As long as you're fighting for what you believe is right, and that's something that you're passionate about, then that pushback isn't going to mean very much ultimately. So I will continue regardless of the pushback that I receive.
Thank you. And I just do want to say, I'm not passing the torch to Paxton today because of my 80th birthday. I'm not finished. I have many other battles and many other injustices to fight against for my clients and for women in general. But I'm sharing the torch with this next generation who is so inspiring to so many of us. This morning, I was receiving emails from people who said, oh my God, it's Paxton Smith. I love her. I love her. Please thank her for me. I'm so excited. She's your mystery guest. So I thank everyone who made their guests on my Facebook page. And it's just exciting to be here next to Paxton. So anything else? Yes.
Paxton, did you have to have your original speech approved before you spoke?
Yes, I had to have my original speech approved. I did not end up giving my original speech. I decided to make the speech about the heartbeat bill instead.
Right. You knew that the speech that you ended up ultimately giving would not get approved, or you felt possibly?
Yeah, so the question is,
Yeah.
the speech that you ultimately gave, that was the speech that had not been approved. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
And you will have to check with the administrators of the school as to why they didn't cut her off. We're glad they didn't. Could you give the name of the school again?
I went to Lake Highlands High School.
Is that a public school or a private
Yes,
school?
it's a public school.
And that's located where, in which big city?
It's
Or
in
near?
Dallas, Texas.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, I'm just so looking forward to that. Sequoia, would you mind bringing my, or Diane, would you bring my birthday cake, please?
I didn't want to be doing this.
And while I'm waiting for the birthday cake, I just want to say that I know that the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, whom I had the honor of meeting at the US Supreme Court, and that's why I picked up a t-shirt.
Sure.
She came up to me when I was in the courtroom awaiting a reception to honor a federal judge, and began to talk to me, and I stood up quickly and we had a wonderful chat. And then afterwards, there was a dinner honoring the federal judge in the Supreme Court dining room. And I had the honor of being her dinner partner, sitting next to her. And we have other photos of that discussion that we had together privately in terms of just speaking with each other. And I will always remember her commitment to women's rights and honor her for it. Because she was the only one on the Supreme Court at that time who spoke out in court opinions, and also when she was a lawyer prior to becoming a justice of the US Supreme Court, so strongly in support of women's rights. So she is a she-wrote to many, sometimes called the notorious RBG, and she will live on. Thank you. Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, good.
I'm the wrong person to have this in front of me.
That's okay. That's all right. Here we'll have people all the time. Okay. Just gonna blow out once.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gloria. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you And also, I wish all of you a very long, healthy, activist life in support of women's rights and minority rights. Thank you so much. Okay, this will conclude, and everyone here, I hope you'll enjoy a piece of cake. Okay, I'm gonna cut that, and everybody.